Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today on Tattoo Collectables, this is our very last video. Stick around and find out why.
What's in the mail?
What did we get in the mail this week? Historic Images. You all have heard them, that name before. They mainly deal in photos from the newspaper. So any of these photos that you get from them, that you know they're authentic, you know they've been used in the newspaper, and sometimes they'll come with little descriptions down below of what they were going to be used for. This one's from April 18th, 1974, and the work on it is, it is some harsh looking work, let me tell you. Now the Foo Dog is probably the better of them. The rest of them are just, wow. They definitely wouldn't pass today's scrutiny as far as how tattoos should look. Like some of these are pretty rough. The Foo Dog, like I said, is pretty decent. But something like this, I will put this in a frame, and I'll try to find the card of the person that goes with it. It's Don Myers, or wait. Various designs of tattooing on the arms of Don Myers of Denver. Some of the tattooing is reported as far back as 1300 BC, but not these. Myers reports that 70% of his business is tattooing flowers and small animals on young ladies. See Wire story. So that was what they put underneath. And then I guess these are on the arms of Don Myers and not done by Don Myers, apparently. But super nice photo. Absolutely a piece of tattoo history. I've got several of these. One day I will probably frame them all together, just to have a nice little display. You know how we do. You know what? I'm not gonna open this one yet. We're gonna save that one for last because I'm pretty excited about that one. I know exactly what that one is. So this one is a book, and when I ordered it, like, on eBay, they always have this thing that says make offer. Now, I like to make offers a lot, okay? Because some people have no clue what they've got. They got it from a relative. They found it at a thrift store. So you never know where this stuff is actually coming from. So I like to go ahead and make them a little offer. I try not to do too lowball of an offer, because I think that's insulting to some people, but I'll throw them an offer, see what they think, and if they don't like the offer, they just won't accept it. You know, no is a perfectly reasonable answer for everything that you ask. But this one, like I said, is a book. We're gonna go ahead and toss all the stuff into the great unknown. Alrighty, this is called Forever and Ever. It's New Works by Sean Barber. We're gonna go ahead, they saran wrapped it real nice so it didn't get any, today my gray scissors. Alrighty. Now, if you're not familiar with Sean Barber, he does fantastic looking oil paintings, and his thing is tattoo. He likes the tattoo community, well, he more than likes, he loves the tattoo community. And he does these just gorgeous oil paintings of heroes in the community, as well as the tools of the trade. When I went out to see the 70th retrospective with Lyle Tuttle, we'll get you some better pictures of that. But there's a great shot of the back. He's got a really nice tattoo machine that he's done on the back, and then the front is Forever and Ever. Now, what I didn't expect on this is a $70 book. What I didn't expect is for them to accept my $20 offer on this book. Now, they only had it listed for like 30 bucks. So I try to stay within, and it's got I thought it had a little disruption on the front, but I think that's just part of the painting that's illustrated on there. So that book is awesome. I love this book. And Sean Barber, if you're out there listening, love your work. Like I was saying, when I was out at the Tuttle 70th, we saw a couple works by Sean Barber. He did the big painting of tattoo machines in the machine room. He also did a great portrait of Tuttle sitting in his workshop. And this son of a gun is almost life size. It was enormous. It looked like you could walk right into his workshop, have a seat right next to him, and get to looking at stuff. So, on this, I'm gonna put a conservative estimate on this of $80 for this book. If you can find this book, buy this book. It is a nice book, and it will go up in price, just like everything else. Now, to the piece de la resistance, or however you say that. My gray scissors. I'm gonna put them to work one more time. So this one also came off eBay. This was definitely a seller who is not familiar with tattooing or the tattoo industry. I assume they bought this setup from someone else, didn't really know what was going on with it. So they put it up. They put this up for $16, which once you see what it is, you'll know that that was a super low ball price. And I think they did it to attract some buyers. That's what I was thinking at first. And then I shot them an offer, as I a lot of times will. Now, when you're shooting somebody an offer on eBay, if you lowball them, like I could have sent him a $15, hey, how about $15? That's an insult. So I sent them a $40 offer on this box. And they were like, 40 bucks? Heck yeah. And they accepted it within minutes of me making the offer. So, and like a lot of things, you're seeing this for the first time. This unboxing, these are true unboxings. So, we're gonna put this to the side. We're gonna look at this first. Nice packing materials. We got a bunch of ads from wherever. So, this is a Joe Kaplan power supply. I'm not sure if it works. It's got an old-fashioned rheostat speed controller on it. Goes all the way up to 20. This one goes all the way to 24. I bet 24 and you're lighting cigarettes off the back of your machine with this thing. But we're gonna plug that in here in a little bit, and we're gonna find out if this works. If it works, you're looking at a $50 to $100 power supply, because it is a vintage power supply. This one is probably from, I'm gonna say probably the 90s, the mid 90s to the early 2000s. All the hardware on it looks pretty new. It's got the fuse on the back, so I believe when it has a fuse, it is a solid state, and the fuse is still good. So yeah, we'll try that out. Whoa, unless I break it. If I break it, we will not try it out later, I guess. So this came with this, which is the big thing, the power supply, which is nice. And then this bag of stuff came with it. Now, normally I will glove up to handle this kind of stuff, but this all looks pretty clean, and it's all in bags. So, first off, we'll go through the small stuff first. First off, with the power supply, you get and I believe this is a Joe Kaplan clip cord. Jiminy Christmas. It has a serious spring on it, and it's made of speaker wire, which that's how the old schoolers used to do it, man. We'd put speaker wire on one of these 1/4-inch plugs, then we'd fashion our own little hooks in the front. This, I mean, it's not worth a ton of money. It's neat to have with the set. It also came with an array of tubes. And these little steely tubes, a lot of people aren't using them anymore. There's still some out there that are pretty loyal to the steely tubes. Now, for me, I personally quit using steelies. We're just gonna rip that back. I personally quit using steelies a long time ago. And the main reason being is these are used on thousands of customers. And you can tell these have been well used. Now these are what they call solder fronts. These haven't been machined. They've taken a small piece, and I'll get way better pictures of this because you're not going to be able to see this on camera. They took tiny little pieces of brass square channel, and they cut them down to size, and then they'll solder them into that end shovel. And that's how they used to make shaders. Now, all three of these, two of them have been repaired with that kind of stuff. And then this one looks like a full meal deal, legit, brand new one. They're not marked anywhere. Now, these are weird because, like, usually on these tubes, and I've got several of them. Like I said, I used to use these to work with. Most of the time on these tubes, you will see a small set screw on the side of them, and that way you can replace this way easier. These are actually soldered on. I've never seen soldered on tubes like this before. They're super neat though, but you can tell that those handles have been soldered. I believe that these are actual Big Joe Kaplan Steelies. Anybody out there knows any different? Once I put these pictures up, please let me know. I hate giving wrong information, and y'all been really great about that, by the way. If you notice, we don't have a bunch of crappy comments. The comments are always either helpful or positive, so we want to thank you for that here at Tattoo Collectables. Now, this is a thing of the past. I'll see if I can't show you. There you go. This is an acrylic cap holder. Now, what you would do is you would put your ink caps in that. Now what we do, well, what I do, is I'll put a little smear of A&D on there, and I'll stick the caps right there. That way everything's disposable. Nothing has to be autoclaved. This had to be autoclaved every single time. Like, if you were using these, you had to have 50 of them. Otherwise, you were going back and forth every day, re-sterilizing, and if you weren't, you're one of them. You're one of them that's out there hurting the public. So now, this is the, I'm not sure if this is the original bag it came in. Shim should be placed on the disc brake pad. Nope, these are disc brake pads, okay. He put it in a little bag for something else. This is the reason that I was super attracted to this auction in the first place. This is a Big Joe Kaplan tattoo machine. Now we're gonna hook it up here in a few and see how it runs. I'm assuming that it probably runs like most Joe Kaplan machines, which are so-so. But this one, the main difference between this one and the other one that I've got is this is it looks like it's been sand casted instead of milled. Now the ones from the 90s, they're milled. He got to the point where he was having them milled out, and that's, you know, that's really, there's another one of those steely tubes that's actually in the machine. I don't like to leave steelies in the machine tightened. Now, when I display them, I do put a steely in it, but normally it's not tightened at all, because if you tighten them, it puts too much pressure on this tube vise. So if you are displaying machines out there, which a lot of you are, and that's great, I wouldn't, if it were me, I wouldn't tighten down your tube vise. You do that, you could eventually, it'll crack and break, and that is no bueno. It's at least very low on the bueno scale. So try not to do that. This is a beautiful machine. The bottom spring on it is the size of a Cadillac. But we are gonna hook that up and see how it runs. It looks a little different from the other Joe Kaplan that I've got. I don't doubt that this is a Joe Kaplan, because on the, it's actually marked J. Kaplan Tattoo Supply on the side. But it's not marked on the armature bar. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. This one looks like it's a free floating. That's a nice looking throw. Ooh, it's a long throw. We're gonna probably end up resetting that just because I like to reset them and mess with them. So we're gonna see how this one runs. Let's check this out right now. Okay, so it runs. Now this one, I'm gonna, like the other one I said was worth about $200 to $250. This one is a different animal. This one feels like it was more hands-on, just from the looks of it. You can tell that the tube vise is hand cut. The frame was sand cast and then hand polished. It's a much nicer looking Joe Kaplan than I'm used to seeing. So I'm gonna put a conservative estimate on this machine at $300. The power supply, I'm gonna say probably between in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 on the power supply if it works. The Steelies, you're looking at about, I would say on these particular Steelies, because these are older ones, I'm gonna say on these, we're looking at $20 each on these. And so I got 6 tubes, six steel tubes, a machine, the acrylic, basically everything but the foot pedal. I wish the foot pedal would come with this. That'd be a nice little set there. All right, so that was what's in the mail. I was pretty thrilled with the Joe Kaplan stuff, especially the tubes that were repaired. You just don't see the ones that were repaired that often. Once they got to a point where they were falling apart, guys would either quit using them, repair them, or throw them away. A lot of these got thrown away. So I feel real lucky to have those two. I will probably be displaying those with the machine. I'm gonna put them all in a shadow box. I'll show you later. I'm actually gonna put it in a shadow box with my other Joe Kaplan machine. You know me, I like to set things up. So, setting things up is what I want to talk about now. Let's just get rid of all the clutter on this counter right quick. There we go. So I can have a little room to talk to you people about this stuff. All right. Now, a couple weeks ago, that's a squeaky stool. A couple weeks ago, I purchased a doorbell from 1910. It looked like this. When I got it, it had a doorbell inside of this, and it was all put together, super nice. You could see its age. So what I did with it is I found some period correct pieces. I put on this bottom piece. It's screwed right on. This is from the early 1900s as well. It's an early 1900s standoff for a radio. I took the screw from that and put it in the top for the tube vise tightener. And then I've got some, I had an older tube vise. So I put that older tube vise on here. And then the tube is actually one of the, it's a Bakelite tube. It was for super, super small, probably a 3, maybe a 1. These were actually ink pens back in the day. They were the first ink pens. You would put the ink up in here, and then you would, you would put the ink right in that reservoir, and then it had a little needle that came down, and you would write with it. They were incredibly messy, I'm sure. But I put all that together into a left-handed doorbell machine from 1910. Now this thing, it's still a little crusty, and I'm gonna leave it a little crusty. Now it doesn't run. I could not get it running. I'm sure that there are gentlemen out there who could get this running, and from what I hear from one of my gurus that I work with, one of my machine gurus, he said that these are AC and not DC, and that you have to actually ground both of the connections to the frame. Now, I'm not sure how true that is. I haven't tried it. I'm sure, I don't doubt him, but I haven't tried that yet. So I love the looks of this thing. This is how they built tattoo machines back in the day when there wasn't tattoo supplies out there. You had maybe 2 or 3 companies working in the early 1900s. I think Percy Waters was doing it. Samuel O'Reilly might have been selling some machines so he could show people how to use them. But for the most part, guys out there were building their own stuff. This is an example of how it would have been, but it's not one from then. Now, my question to you guys is that legit? I think so. I love the looks of it. I am going to display this, and I'm not going to display it as an original 1910 doorbell machine, but the doorbell's from 1910. Everything on there is from early America. All I did was put it together, and I put it together with all the old school parts. Now, in the comments below, y'all tell me what you think of that. I think it is neat looking. I put it up on the Tattoo Historical Society, where, man, if you want to know something for sure, go to that Tattoo Historical Society, put your question on there. If you don't know who somebody is in a picture, if you don't know what a machine is, if any questions, basically, you put it up on there. One of these old school cats that are on there is going to answer you. Hell, he may be a new school cat, to tell you the truth. Now, this is what it looked like originally. This is a 1920s doorbell. They were built, and they're called magnetic doorbells. This is the whole breast of it there. The whole breast of it. This is the beast right here. This one I'm not going to build into a tattoo machine because the way it's set up, and I'll show you. Here's a great picture of it, and you'll see in the spring saddle is unlike any spring saddle I've seen. Now, I believe, and my shop guru, machine guru, agrees with me, that this would have broken almost immediately if you made it into a tattoo machine. It's not meant for constant running. This one was meant for constant running. You can constantly run it. It's not gonna mess with that spring. It's a one-piece spring on the back. It's not gonna mess with that at all. This one, however, you turn this one into a tattoo machine, and the first time you go to run this thing, you're gonna pop that spring because it's got a pressure point in it that I believe would break eventually. Now, these were meant for short, not for all day session, tattoo work. But I thought I'd leave this one together and I actually put it in the table. I'm gonna actually leave this one together just to show people the difference between the two. Now, if you ask me, the other part of this doorbell looks like, and I'm not gonna take that off. It seems, I may not be able to get it off. But the back of that doorbell, to me, sure looks like an old foot switch. It's already set up for it. It's already got the metal parts that you would need. It's already got the metal on the front that you could stick a cord into. I believe that they were making foot pedals out of these. But that's what I wanted to show you today, and I wanted to ask you all, what do you think of this? I put it up on the Tattoo Historical Society. I got like 180 likes on it. It is a lefty, not a righty, which a lot of the doorbell machines were lefties. Tuttle said that the left-handed design machine should have been the way all of them were, because it puts the weight of the machine inside instead of hanging outside. I can see the benefits of that, plus your clip cord would have a little bit more space to move back there. But I would definitely like to know your all's thoughts on this. I'll put up some better, I got some great pictures of this. I'll put up some better pictures of it. But I would love to know what people think, because it's not a real, well, I mean, it is real. It is from 1910. All the parts are from then. It just wasn't assembled then. What do you all think of that? I'd like to know in the comments below. I'd like to know your all's answer to that. Okay, so as I said in the beginning of this video, that this is our last video for 2019. This is the last video that we'll be doing before the new year. Now, in the coming year, we are going to have some drastic changes in this show. We're going to do some new stuff. We're going to do some new segments, and we're going to go do some new interviews. Stick with us. It's going to be a wild ride in 2020. For those of you who've subscribed and hit the notifications button and all the good stuff that goes along with that, we thank you. We have 252 subscribers now. We started this in June. 252 of you have thought enough of it to subscribe, and we appreciate that. We would like to thank every subscriber out there and everybody that watches the show. We want to wish you a happy holidays and a happy new year. We want you to stay safe until we see you again. And until we see you next year, keep on collecting. Hey everybody, thanks for watching, and please hit the subscribe button down below and check out these videos. We've worked real hard on these too, and I think if you enjoyed this one, you'll enjoy those too.